All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Three Football Idiots Week 14 edition. We're all back. We're all ready to go. Extremely tired, really busy, trying to be adults, functioning. It's hard. But let me get right into it. Week 13 was a terrible week for me. I was 9-7, 119 and 75 is my record. Yeah, I don't want to go over the picks I got wrong because I got a lot of them wrong. Yeah, I'm good. I'm passing the baton. CJ.
Yeah, man. I went 9-7 this week. It was not good. Uh, there was a couple bad ones. I chose some upsets that definitely didn't happen or even come close to happening. At least at the beginning of that Titans game, it looked like they might do something, but then, that fizzled out pretty quickly, and I was like, all right, all hope is lost. Don't know why I picked them, so regretting that one. But I'm gonna pass it to you, Rock.
Yeah, man. My total record is 127 and 67. I went 12-4 last week. Looking at those point per game numbers are doing me justice. Doing me a lot of justice. And the games I got wrong are the ones that I said, you know what? I'm not gonna listen to the points per games, and I was wrong. Anyways, let's get into these bye weeks, man. We got four teams here, all interesting teams except for the top right one, the
That's
Giants.
right. That's right. All of them get some rest. Pats, you're looking like number one seed. Giants, start looking at draft picks. Carolina,
Thank
I
you
don't know
for
where you're
beating the
at.
Rams. You
Hold
know,
on, upset. Hold
There
on,
you
hold
go.
on.
Yeah, and the Niners keep winning. Niners keep
This
winning.
okay,
So
moving on. Let's do this Thursday
let's do
night,
it.
man.
Let's moving on. Okay, tomorrow's matchup. It's Dallas 6-5-1 against Detroit. It's at 7-5. They're in Detroit. This is a must game, must win for both teams. Just real quick for Dallas. They have a great big win against Kansas City on Thanksgiving. Good for them. Their tackle Guyton is still out. Diggs is going to be out, but this team is still first in total yards. They're still first in passing yards. They are not bad. They're middle of the pack of rushing yards at 13th, fifth and third down offense. Their three straight wins that they've had, 20 pressures versus Mahomes last week, so good. Balanced offensive attack. They've combined 209 rushing yards allowed for 3 games. So think about that. Under 300 passing yards allowed for every single game. And Dak leads the league with 75.3 QBR. On Detroit's side, tough loss to Green Bay. It was honestly pretty close stat wise, but it is what it is. What happened? They didn't convert on pivotal downs, and they had Green Bay convert on pivotal downs. They still don't have Raymond. Kirby Joseph's banged up. Arnold's season-ending injury. They're still third in total yards. They're second in like the least amount of offensive turnovers. They're high up there in passing yards and rushing yards. They have 5 yards per carry. They're also fifth in opponent yards per carry. So Dallas might not be running it that much. Gibbs leads the league with yards per carry, 5.8, by the way. That's insane. And yeah, I mean, other than that, they allowed way too many rushing yards, and Green Bay converted 3 out of 3 on fourth down, and they didn't get to Love. So overall, I got Dallas winning this 24-21. I think they want it more. I think Detroit, there's just a lot of injuries, a lot of bad news. Frank Ragnow is not going to play because he failed a physical. So yeah, it is what it is. CJ, go ahead.
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. I'm gonna ride the Cowboys hype train right now. If I was Stephen A, I'd put on the cowboy hat and do the whole thing. How about them boys? But
Mm.
no, I kind of agree. Also, Amon-Ra St. Brown is likely to not play this game. Which will obviously be an big impact for him. My final score is Dallas taking it 25-21, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game that really goes back and forth. Jared Goff still has it, but Dak goes on these streaks, and I think the Cowboys, losing their teammate, they're definitely playing for something different, and it's bigger than the game, so they're really gonna go for it. So I'm going to pass it to Rock on that.
Yeah. True. We're all about that Dallas hype train. All three of us this week. I'm taking Dallas 30-27. Um, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. They look like the most dangerous wide receiving group out there, the duo out there. I mean, you could pick, Adams and Nakua, but Nakua's not producing as much as Adams touchdown wise, and I'm I'm still like just like, damn it, we should have kept George Pickens. He's elevated it. He has taken so much pressure off of CeeDee Lamb, so CeeDee can do what he needs to do. Dak's just like having a field day against pretty good defenses a lot of the time. Just he has options. He has more options than he's had in his whole career, which is, and we've seen Dak have close to MVP type seasons, and then he's had some really bad ones because he hasn't had any weapons. It's almost like he has a better receiving core than CD and Amari Cooper. So, as for the Lions, the injuries are beating them up. They don't run the ball with Gibbs, even though he has the highest yards per attempt. They still don't run it. All five of these losses they have had is because they don't run the ball with Gibbs. This is this season's theme this year. These teams with good running backs that don't use them, they are losing games they can win because they don't run the damn ball. Look at Baltimore and Derrick Henry. Did they use him more than 10 times against the Bengals? No. So run the damn ball if you want to make the playoffs. These coaches got to get in their head. Other than that, I'm done rambling. Dallas 30-27.
Move on.
All right, y'all. We're back. This is my team right here, the Seahawks versus the Falcons. The Seahawks got a record of 9-3. Falcons going in with a record of 4-8. Deegs, you want to start us off?
Yeah, how about that Seattle performance against Minnesota? Shut them out. 0-26. It was it was something that wasn't football, man. It was slapping time. It was BTA moment, dude. Um, yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing from reports, Darnold should be good to go. Um, it's a Seattle team that's ninth in total yards. They allow sixth in total yards allowed, so that is great. Sixth in turnovers created, but they are the second most offensively turnover team, so that is kind of an issue. They be turning the ball over a lot, man. So other than that, though, other than that, I mean, ninth in passing yards, second in rushing yards allowed, fourth in opponent yards per carry, third and third down defense. And how about the Minnesota game? Four interceptions, four sacks. That's all I gotta say. On the Atlanta side, they lost to New York. It honestly that was tough for them, but they choke again. That's like a theme of them since 2016. And London, is he playing? Not sure. It says questionable. We'll see. They don't have bad stats, and they didn't have bad stats against the Jets. They just let Tyrod Taylor kind of just drive on them, and the Jets kind of just made the right plays at the right times, and they got in field goal range for a veteran kicker. So overall, though, they they really outplayed the Jets. They had a turnover and they created none. And at the end of the day, it's not going to win you football games. They are eighth in passing yards allowed, so I'll give them that. But other than that, I'm not even going to go through the other rest of my notes because I already know where I'm going with this. It's Seattle 26-17. Seattle keeps rolling, and they got a pivotal matchup with the Rams pretty soon, so that will be a division up for grabs here. CJ, you want to go ahead or Rock, whatever?
Yeah, man. So obviously, everything you said last week, defense really outperformed, and Ernest Jones had a pick six, so I can't give the all the offensive credit, to them. So, um, yeah, I got to go Seahawks in this game as well. With the backup Kirk, you can tell the injuries probably impacted him. He's pretty much a statue down there. And the receivers are pretty inconsistent when it comes to just hands catching, and there's a lot of drops out there. The Falcons' pass rush has definitely overplayed this year. So I think one of their keys is they're going to have to seal the outside. And one of the keys for the Seahawks is Darnold's going to have to roll out, probably make a couple plays. but not play the type of hero ball, he did against the Rams, where he played a total stinker. So I'm still going to ride with my boys. My final score on this is going to be 30-21. I do think the Falcons will fight back, but I think the Seahawks will put up some points in this one. I'm going to pass it to you, Rock. Finish this off.
And then it's funny how me and you always have the same score on these games for Seattle, man. I got 30-21 Seattle as well. Um,
Let's
you
go,
know,
man.
it's looking at least top two in the league. Um, honestly, JSN and Darnold really didn't have to do too much last week against Minnesota. Defense just said, "Hey, we got y'all. Y'all been getting us most of this year. We got y'all this year, this week." Offense. So you guys take a break. We'll handle this. Should have been never drafted to the league quarterback and this offense, if that's what Minnesota wanted to call it. And then, yeah. So let's move on. Well, I can't say move on yet. Let me say something about the Falcons. The choke artist. You lose to the Jets. I've been saying you guys are losers all year. All right, let's move on.
All right, we're back with the equal record Steelers and Ravens, both at 6-6. I think they both slightly underperformed, how they should be. But we got Deegs on your right, and yeah, he's right under the Ravens banner. He's ready to go. Steelers over there with Rock on my left. So
We
if y'all ready
renegade.
to go, let's do it. I'm gonna pass it to Rock. Let him start it off. What do you got to say?
So, Steeler fans have had enough. We booed Renegade. We chanted "Fire Mike Tomlin." Um, wow. I don't know what to say. I was part of that group that wasn't super happy with Tomlin. I always respected Tomlin. Never really happy with Tomlin because just became Marvin Lewis. That's all he did. Once Marvin Lewis retired from Cincinnati, Tomlin said, "I'll take that mantle. I'll be 9-8. I'll be 10-7. I'll be mediocre." So, does that mean I'm gonna pick the Ratbirds? Hell no. Hell no, I ain't picking no dang Ratbirds. They're losing. They suck. Lamar can't pass anymore. He struggled against the Jets and the Browns, mostly because of Miles Garrett against the Browns. But so I'll give that man his props, even though it pains me to say that. But yeah, no, maybe TJ Watt does something. Maybe Terrell Austin gets fired this week, and we can actually have a run game for once in our career this season. A run defense probably won't happen. I got this being an ugly, stupid game between AFC North rivals that just don't want to win. They want to lose out, but unfortunately, they're stuck with the Bengals and the Browns in their division. So everybody, someone has to win it, even though nobody does. So I got us winning 18-15. Deegs, talk about your stupid birds, man.
Oh man. So I just want you guys to picture this. I'm in a food coma on Thanksgiving. I'm like, we're in Baltimore. We're gonna win this thing. I'm confident. And I just get more depressed as the quarters go by, man. And that is literally the story of my team. They are so bipolar at times. It sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna criticize Lamar for sure. I mean, past four games, dude, under 60 completion percentage, man. Like Jesus Christ. Um, only one passing touchdown in four games, and you've had four fumbles. Like I need you to get it together, bro. So. A lot of people are talking smack on Twitter saying you're overrated. So I need you to show up. Why? Because every time you play Pittsburgh, you don't do great. You don't do great. So I need you to come out here. I need you to actually win. I need Baltimore to make a stand. This is for the division. And like Rock was saying, it's just two teams that just don't know whether they want to win. And am I picking the Steelers? Hell no. I'm not picking the Steelers. Obviously, I'm not picking the Steelers. But I'm also gonna have to agree with him. It's gonna be an ugly game. And I got Baltimore 16-13. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. But hey, man, this is the best rivalry in football right here, man. So just saying, this is what it is. This is what it do.
Hopefully, this best rivalry is a good tradition and it's not just becoming the ugly rivalry. No points.
Bro,
You
bro,
win.
man.
You win. No, you win. No, you win.
Yeah, man.
Just two head
Yeah,
coaches that don't get the message passed to their players anymore. That's what I see from John
yeah,
Harbaugh and
yeah,
Tomlin. It's
100%.
outdated.
The pain
Just
is real. The pain
yeah.
is real. TJ, what's the score for you though? I don't know if I heard you.
I said 18-15. We both got a field goal game.
Uh,
Got it being ugly.
I got you. All right, all right.
Hey, what's your score, man? What you think, man? Finish it off. I know we've been rambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I can't give it away too soon because I got something to say. You know, I really respect Tomlin, but I think it's the coaches they're putting in there that to support him, the coordinators over there I feel like are not a good fit. Um, and I do agree with Rock that it might have been a mistake getting rid of Pickens and choosing to sign Metcalf to a long-term contract. We'll see how that continues to develop. I know Steelers probably want to focus on getting a young quarterback in there going into next year. But if I'm being honest, I see the Steelers winning the division. Um, I don't know what's going on with Lamar. He's absolutely killed me in fantasy, and you know, I just don't know. As Rock says, if you don't run the ball, like even if you're not running efficiently, it's all about attempts. You really want to get those attempts in, so you're not as predictable. So it I really thought about this, but I think I just got to stick with the Steelers. Uh I feel like they just sort of own this rivalry and Aaron Rodgers, with the bruised up
Ooh.
nose, he's going to want to bounce back and yeah, I'm ready to watch it. I'm gonna root for the old man. So yeah, I'm going Steelers 21-17 on this. And if you guys got any final words, trash talk, now's the time because this is the week.
You're taking a lot of shots this week, Diego. When we watch the game, you're gonna be drunk. That's all I'm gonna
That,
say.
we're both gonna get sauced because we both suck. All right. All right. Let's move on.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, we got the 1-11 Tennessee Titans against the 3-9 Cleveland Browns. Now, don't hold your breath. Don't be shocked, but I think this is going to be the worst game out of all of them this week. Anyways, yeah,
Not being negative or anything, I'm
not
just saying.
yeah. Points per games. Titans are 32nd. Browns are 29th. Titans average about 14.2 points. Browns are averaging 16.2 points. Horrible. Just horrible. Passing yards a game. Titans are 29th with 195.9. Browns are 31st with 179.8. Once again, horrible. For rushing yards, Titans are 31st with 76.7. The Browns are 27th with 98.5. Horrible. For sacks, the Titans, respectable, 13. They got 30. The Browns, second. They got 43. So edge rushers are getting there. For interceptions, the Titans are 29th with 5, and the Browns are 14th with 9. So defenses play a lot better than the offenses are for these teams. Once again, I think it's going to be ugly. The Titans have a good coin flip chance to win this, but in all realistic wise, Cleveland's win it. Cleveland's yeah, but I got them winning 17-14. CJ, what you got, man?
Man, I don't even care if I took the loss this week. I didn't even consider Tennessee after taking them last week and actually being a fool enough to root for them and put my emotional sanity on the line versus the Jaguars, and they just beat them up. So yeah, BTA moment. I learned my lesson, and now I'm feeling spiteful. So I'm picking the Cleveland Browns no matter what. Doesn't matter who they got in at quarterback. They're gonna absolutely dice them. Jerry Judy will actually look like a good receiver. Now, I'm actually not confident about that, but anyways, I feel like the defense is just going to overwhelm the Titans. So I think this is just an easy one. I'm going Browns 24, Titans 10.
Yep, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I am going with Cleveland. I'm going with Cleveland. Unfortunately, yeah, man, Tennessee's eliminated. Never will pick them again. They got the BTA slap from Jacksonville. Ward's been sacked 48 times now, so keep counting that. Um, 10 penalties last week, so that's terrible. Cleveland on their side, well, Garrett's got 19 sacks, man. This man might break the record this game. You don't know, because they're
Crazy.
terrible. Overall, I mean, against San Fran, the numbers were not as bad as I thought it was. So, the score was terrible, but the stats were a little closer than I thought. But what really killed them was they were 0 for 4 on fourth down. Shadura did have a 93.6 passer rating, so I'll give him that as a positive. Other than that, yeah, it's Cleveland 2010. That's what I got. 2010 Cleveland. Let's move on. Okay, 8-4 Indianapolis, 8-4 Jacksonville. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yeah, this is for potential first place in well, it is for division like first place, but not for the full season. It's a pivotal game, regardless. Indianapolis, they lost a big one to Houston, which is going to be right there in that race as well. Sauce is going to be out. Sauce Gardner will be out. He won't be playing. Um, the losing skid. Let me just tell you about losing skid. 100 plus rushing yards allowed in all of those games they've lost. They've had under 100 rushing yards, which they should run the ball with Jonathan Taylor because he
Yeah,
is the team. I mean, I get it, Daniel Jones, but Jonathan Taylor is the offense. And then on top of that, you go 3 for 10 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down. You just did not come up, man. You did not come up at a pivotal point. Put all the great stats they got. They gotta execute. Jacksonville, they beat Tennessee, which is not a shocker. They do have a banged up defense. Yes, they are second in interceptions, and they are actually first in rushing yards allowed. So good for them. And in their win streak, they've actually allowed under 100 plus rushing yards. So, do I think Jonathan Taylor will have a big game? I still think he'll have a pretty decent game if they run the ball with him. But the penalties last week against Tennessee, dude, 13 penalties against Tennessee. It's not good. So, when I look at this game, it's not really exciting, but it's exciting at the same time. I got the Colts. I think they bounce back 27-24. I do not believe in the Trevor Lawrence train or the Jacksonville Jaguars train. CJ, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with you and take the Colts as well. I really wanted to sort of, see both sides and convince myself to maybe take the Jaguars and believe in, the trade they made for Jacoby Myers and maybe them having a little spark after that. But they also just played the Titans. So I know it's any given Sunday, any NFL team, but it was the one win Titans. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Colts here. I think if they can somehow figure out how to run the ball, take the pressure off of Danny Dimes, get some bootlegs going. I want to see Daniel Dimes running the way he was, when they were on their win streak. He was even running in some touchdowns. So yeah, I want to see him using his legs and just going through his progressions, taking his time. They're going to have to stop a pretty stout Jaguars pass rush. But my final score on that one is going to be Colts 24, Jaguars 21.
yeah. We're all agreeing again. I got Indy winning 30-24. Um, Indy is still first in points per game. They're just right under 30 points per game with 29.8. And while Jacksonville's at 24. Um, that's my main reason. I don't think we're going to see Daniel Jones really scramble all too much with that broken fibula that he's playing on or whatever they said it was. he's toughing it out. Props to him. Hey, you're tough, but you're trying to stay in for the rest of the season. But if you're too injured to play, I think you're doing more harm than good for the team a lot of the times. Like Anthony Richardson can hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor 30 times a game. He doesn't have to throw. He can just hand the ball off 30 times and you guys will be fine. Sit down for a little bit, get healthy. But if you're good to play, hey, play. You play football. Um, Jacksonville, I need to see more out of what is it, Brian Thomas or who's that receiver they took in the first round that's been sucking a lot
Yeah,
lately?
yeah,
I
Brian
need him.
Thomas.
Yeah, I need him to step up a lot. Especially since they don't have Travis Hunter anymore. Since he's been out, even though he's been out for a couple of weeks. Both of these defenses are really banged up. Like they're both super banged up. So Jonathan Taylor, you need to have a game. Also, it's on your coaches to give you the attempts. People undervalue these running back positions, but then you look at a lot of these top rated running backs, their attempts per game are super low. Like, it's like, why are we not using these weapons? They're good. Use them. A lot of times when you do use them, hey, you're blowing teams out by like 30 points, 20 points. Um, it's just crazy to me when you got a high end dude and you only want to use them 10 times a game, 5 times a game. It's crazy to me. Um, but other than that, let's move on. Important game. Let's go. Let's move on.
All right, y'all, we're back. We got the 3-9 Commanders and the 4-8 Minnesota Vikings coming out of a shutout from my Seattle Seahawks. Uh, I'll just start off by saying, both of these teams have been extremely disappointing. I know Commanders have been hit pretty hard with injuries, as have the Minnesota Vikings, at times. But I'm gonna have to believe in the Minnesota Vikings pass rush on this and their defense. They played really well against the Seahawks, which are a really efficient team under Clint Kubiak. So I'm gonna stick with the Vikings, take them in a really lame game, honestly. I think it'll be 20-14. Take it away, Rock.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I'm gonna take the Commanders 21-14. Reason being is that I don't I don't trust any of Minnesota's current active quarterbacks to actually do anything. Both of them have pissed off Jay Jettis and Jordan Addison. Their top two receivers hate them. Uh, then we're looking at the Commanders, who Mariota almost beat, in my opinion, the best defense this year in the Broncos in an overtime or yeah, overtime thriller. They lost, but it was close. They made the Broncos sweat. Um, Other than that, yeah, I mean, both these teams are injured. I do really like Minnesota's defense, but unfortunately, their offense is just doing too much damage for them to try and help anything. They're on a ship with a bunch of holes on it in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. They're sinking. They're sinking fast. Um, Kind of sucks for Washington because, hey, at this point, with all the injuries you have, you're trying to play for a better draft pick, but you just run into a team that just isn't going anywhere except to the top 5 pick. So you lose out on that. Sucks for Commanders fans, but hey, at least you guys are still kind of in the NFC playoff hunt. You need a lot of stuff to go right for you, but Diggs, take it away, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Rock. I'm gonna go with the Commanders here. Looking at it, I mean, the big stat that I have here outlined is Commanders are actually third in rushing yards, which is surprising. And then the Vikings are 27th. So the Vikings defense is good, and I'm not saying they're not, but 27 rushing yards, that could be kind of a flaw for them in this game. Mariota did play a great game against the Denver defense that I just thought was going to get demolished. So, good for him. Uh, at this point, the only thing that's annoying for me is from the Commanders is Jaden Daniels keeps like wishy washy, like playing, not playing. Like, dude, just like rest the dude. Don't pull an RG3 because that's what I feel like is going to happen with this organization. You're going to pull someone in, they're going to get injured probably for a career ending thing. And then what? And then you got to draft another QB that's going to be your savior. No, dude. If I were you, Mariota's okay enough of a he's a better quarterback than JJ McCarthy or Brosmer out there. So again, it comes down to quarterback play and that Russian number that I got. So Commanders 16, Vikings 10. Let's move on.
Man, I'm gonna have to change this pick. What do y'all think?
Now it's
Uh,
recording.
Change
Oh
it? You change it?
man,
Right
as soon as you said your first word, Rock, I just like regretted it. I was like, why did I switch it?
now?
I blew it. Well, anyways, go Vikings. Skull, skull, skull. Let's move it on, guys.
Yeah. Okay, we got the 5-7 Miami Dolphins against the 3-9 New York Jets. This one made me think. Both of these teams, aside from record and picks, are exactly the same. Like points per games. Dolphins are 25th with 20.6 points a game. The Jets are 26th with 20.5 points a game. Um, Passing yards. Miami is 28th with 197.8. The Jets are 32nd, dead last with 169.7. Both not great in the passing game. Rushing yards, Miami is 18th with 117.1. The Jets are at least top 10, so I'll give them that. They're 133.7. When it comes to sacks, Miami is 21st with 25. The Jets are 28th with 21, so four pick difference between the two teams. And then excuse me, that was sacks. Excuse me, that was sacks. um, for interceptions, the Dolphins are 30th with 4, and the Jets are still dead last with nothing this year. Any bets on when they get the first pick, or do they go pickless this season? My bet is they don't get a single one, even though Tua is first in throwing interceptions this year. I don't think they get any against him because a lot of their D backs are out. They got Brownlee, the guy who gets 1,000 penalties a game and can't cover anybody. He's not getting a pick. He's not getting a pick. If he does, hey, quote it, clip me. I don't care. Tell me how wrong I am, but uh, nah, it's not happening. But I have flipped my choice on this game 1,000 times. I said Jets, Dolphins, Jets, Dolphins, Jets, Dolphins, Jets, Dolphins. I eventually did eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and I landed on the Dolphins. So I got them winning 22-21.
Yeah, as any
No.
man would, they would
No
eeny,
way,
meeny,
man.
miny, mo. So that's a perfectly reasonable reason, Yeah, Rock isn't a superstitious, but he's a little stitious. And if it's all right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna have to agree with you as well. I think Tua will actually have a bounce back. Um, I believe he's first or second. I can't remember correctly, but in interceptions this season, he got to double digits pretty quickly, and it's definitely an issue for him. You can't be giving teams chances like that, especially when they get back into their own, position, getting them close to field goal range or in it. It just can't be happening, especially versus a Jets team. Like Ryan said, they're struggling really bad. So I'm gonna have to stick with the Dolphins and a 24-17 score. Finish this off, Deegs.
Yep, I'm gonna agree with you guys entirely with the Dolphins pick. Even though the Jets, man, really made me mad when they beat the Falcons. Um, I gotta give the credit to the Jets, man. Tyrod Taylor, man, 19 for 33, 171 yards, a touchdown,
Should have
and
believed.
then 44 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So, obviously a lot better than 50-yard Justin Fields over there with them gaudy numbers. So, yeah, looking at that, man, I mean, I'm excited to see hopefully if it's an HN versus Brees Hall type deal. We'll see what happens with that. I think Tua gets picked off. I think maybe he gets picked off, maybe Tony Adams, he wants to come in and get himself something. I don't a little Christmas gift. Um, But at the end of the day,
Fox
man,
says
like
no.
end of
Say
the day,
nothing.
man, like look, man, Dolphins, they're winning streak right now. They're riding high. 7 turnovers created in that winning streak, so I'm going with the Flippers. 21-14. Ready.
Clippers as they waddle away.
Okay, the 2-10 New Orleans Saints go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7-5. What do I think about this game? I think the Bucks are gonna win this game. The Bucks are gonna win this game, even though I still like to see the Saints doing some, some spoilers here and there, especially almost beating the Dolphins. So they play tough, man. But they're eliminated. They're eliminated from playoff contention now, so they can play spoilers if they want to. I don't think they're gonna do it with Tampa. I will give the Saints credit. They're 12th in total yards allowed. They're eighth in fumbles lost from the opponent, so that's good. They're also seventh in passing yards allowed, surprisingly. And they only gave up 81 rushing yards to the Dolphins, so that's also really good for them. But you go to Tampa, they beat Arizona barely. I mean, they're rusty because they're all injured. Now they're getting healthy. Bucky's going to play. He's going to play again. Some good things for them. They're fifth in offensive turnovers. They don't turn the ball over that much. And they're sixth in turnovers created. Um, they are not great against the pass, 29th yards allowed. Uh, they do have the fifth least interceptions thrown. So Baker, he has been taking care of the football. And at the end of the day, I mean, Baker actually had a good game against Arizona. Bucky's just going to have to continue to progress, and hopefully he has a game. I think he should have a pretty good game. Yeah, this is an NFC South duel, so I'm going to make it a little closer, but not by much. 17-27, Tampa Bay. CJ, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. Take the Bucks. My final score on that's going to be 30-13. I don't think the Saints will fight back very much. You know, their rookie quarterback, shows some flashes here and there, but it hasn't really came all together. And the Saints do have some veterans, some guys, that can really go. But it's hard to believe in a team, that seems like they're playing for the number one draft pick every year at this point. So I'm going to stick with the Bucks, and I think Baker Mayfield, their stock of receivers is going to be able to make the difference in this game. So uh, yeah, finish it off, Rock.
Yeah, welcome back, Bucky Irvin. I missed you on my fantasy team. Thank you for coming back finally, especially when I'm fighting for that last playoff spot and I'm in a bunch of tiebreakers. So I need you to kill the Saints this week, my man. Other than that, I got the Bucks winning 24-15, just going by the points per games. The Saints are around 15.2 points per game, while the Bucks are around 23.3. Um, Passing yards wise, the Saints are 18th with 222, where the Bucks are 20th actually with 221. For rushing yards, the Saints are 29th with 90, while the Bucks are 21st with 109. For sacks, the Saints are 17th with 28, while the Bucks are 15th with 29. And for interceptions, the Saints are 23rd with 7, and the Bucks are 9th with 11. So, the Saints, as you know, the stats kind of show me they play tough, but I just think it's a fraud. They play tough to make it look like they're not throwing for the number 2 overall pick, and then they're like, okay, the game's over, we can stop trying now. So, let's move on.
What's up, y'all? We're back. Uh, not a really not a really crazy game. Not one. I think any of us probably expect the upset in, but I'm excited to hear what you guys think with Joe Burrow being back and actually playing a good game. Looking like the offensive line actually wanted to protect him a little bit. So, but I'm gonna have to stick with the Bills, and you know they're 8-4 versus the Bengals 4-8. At this point, the Bills got to go, or they might miss a window. So they really got to, take advantage of this opportunity, try to get good seating in the playoffs. So I think they're going to be able to take care of this team, who I believe is beatable. But we'll see if Joe Burrow can still progress with the offense as he goes forward. But my final score is going to be Bills winning this one, 27-21. I think the defense of the Bills is going to be able to somewhat hold Burrow in check. Go ahead and take it next, Deegs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you for sure. I'm gonna have to agree with you on this. I definitely think this is a must win. I think every week is a must win for the Bills because they're chasing the Pats, dude, and they're chasing a playoff race where the AFC, there is still a lot of teams that can make it. So, yes, I think this is very important for them. I think it's going to be a close game because, yeah, it changes everything with Burrow back. Burrow made Baltimore look like Pee Wee football. It was god awful. He was just in control the whole time. They had 38 minutes and 46 seconds of time possession against my team, dude. Like they had the ball the whole game pretty much. Yeah, Burrow came back with 2 touchdowns, and Higgins might be playing. Hendrickson's still out. The one thing, they're atrocious defense. Yes, they're feisty, but they're still 31st in rushing yards allowed. When you go to the Buffalo Bills, they took care of business against Pittsburgh. They annihilated them. And now here they are in Buffalo needing to take care of business. They had 42 minutes of time possession against Pittsburgh, so they took care of that and they had the ball the whole time. And they only allowed 58 rushing yards to Pittsburgh. Again, Cincinnati doesn't really run like that, but they are 32nd or 30th in rushing yards allowed. These are poor run defenses. But the one that has the running back is Buffalo. So again, Buffalo, dude, if you want to win the game, you give it to James Cook. You let him do it. You let him go off. You let him do what he needs to do. I got Buffalo winning this 24-17. It's close because Burrow being back, it changes everything for me, but they're going to lose this game. That's what I got. Rock, close it out.
Yeah, I'm agree with y'all, but this could be a sneaky upset, especially with Burrow being back. I'm gonna be pissed at the Bills if they don't use James Cook because they literally ran the same play against my team with James Cook 29 times, and we didn't stop it for shit. So if they all of a sudden don't use James Cook this week against the 31st worst rushing defense, I'm gonna be a little pissed. And they lose, giving the Bengals another chance for them to catch up to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, which both of those teams don't want to even be in the damn playoffs. Bengals come back with Joe Burrow if they beat the Bills. I'm gonna be pissed. Other than that, hopefully the Bills handle business. I got them winning 28-23. Let's move on. All right, guys. We got the 10-2 Denver Broncos heading to Vegas against the 2-10 Las Vegas Raiders. Um, as much as I want to, put the BTA stamp on this, last time that these two teams played, it was a very gross, low scoring game. So I kind of got to put the points on the down low. I don't think it's going to be BTA. I think it's going to be AFC West rivalry matchup that the Broncos are going to win in the last second because they love pissing off their fans with heart attacks because they can't throw the damn ball right because Bo Nix wants to choke. But the defense is like, we're too good, too damn good to choke. So you're not going to choke on us, Bo. So we're going to win this game in spite of you trying to suck. And other than that, I got Denver winning 21-15. Deez, what you think about this, man?
I mean, I know I was saying it was slap of the week, but the score line says otherwise. It is going to be a close game, though, just because, well, Denver's team historically is great on defense, first in sacks with 51 right now. So that's great for them, and they've been great on defense. Offensively, Bo Nix gave me 321 yards last week against the Commanders, so that's an upside, but their offense is always kind of up and down, regardless of what one of the dudes, one of the homies say named Sajin, who is a fake Broncos fan, by the way. I'm gonna call him out on this channel. But when you look at the other side with the Raiders, um, yeah, man, I got nothing to say, man. It's unfortunate, dude. Like I wish Ashton Genty can go off, but they have no offensive line. Rest in peace, Raiders. Rest in peace, Mad Max. Rest in peace, Shaw. Hey Shaw, I know you're watching this, so I'm gonna let you know that too, dude. Like, hey man, switch the team, bro. Like, go somewhere else. You deserve to win something. Uh,
So,
uh, other than that, Las Vegas is eliminated from playoff contention once again. Denver 20, Las Vegas 13. That's what I got. CJ, close it out.
Hey Deegs, knock knock.
Who's there?
Slap of the week. Disagree. Slap of the week. This is BTA moment. Broncos are gonna give it to him. Uh, I was actually wondering what y'all think about Pete Carroll potentially getting fired in this offseason, or if they give him another year.
they should have fired him once he went 2-8, 2-5. They should have fired him. He, outdated coaching, man. I'm tired of seeing outdated coaching. I'm tired of it.
What you think on that, Deegs?
It sucks because I just think his philosophy might be a little bit outdated.
Outdated.
So, you know, I just think it's a little outdated. He might not be putting too much motivation on these players, man. Yeah, you're just gonna have to start from I don't know, from the top. CEO, I don't know who the CEO is, but maybe get another GM too, man. Just something. You got to get leadership up there. It starts from the top. They've been failing them for so long. All you've done in Vegas is build a new stadium, bro. You've relocated them from Oakland and relocated a stadium. And let me tell you right now, I just give me the Oakland Black Hole. Like I don't like you moved them just to be ass, man. Like y'all don't y'all make no sense. I'm happy I'm not a Raiders fan. That's all I gotta say about it. So
Yeah, man. So I agree with y'all. I'm going Broncos 30, Raiders 13. I don't think they're gonna have much fight left. Uh, their offensive line is absolutely atrocious. I'm pretty disappointed, but also surprised, with Genty's production, despite getting hit, 1 yard in the backfield every single play. Uh, I know his yards after contact have to be absolutely insane this season. So, yeah, I think Broncos are going to give him a belt, uh, take him behind the woodshed, whatever you want to call it. They're going to give it to him. And, I Raiders fans are already sad. I'm sorry, Shaw. We'll have you back on. But, yeah, this one's going to be a blowout, in my opinion. Let's keep it rolling.
Whew, okay. This next matchup is huge. This matchup is crazy. Who would have thought that the rivalry might be back? Bears and Packers. Packers have been killing the Bears for years, and now the Bears are first in the NFC. Where am I living at right now? This is weird. Packers are right there. Let's take a look, man. There's a lot of notes on this. First of all, Chicago beat Philly in Philly, Black Friday game to take control first. Obviously, with the Rams choking, that helped them. Um, man, they're first in turnover differential. They're ball hawks out there. They're first in interceptions. Offensively, though, they're nice. Six in total yards. You know, fifth in least offensive turnovers. And they're first in turnovers created, of course, like I've said already. I go down the line. The defensive stats don't look amazing, right? But I mean, hey man, when you got Caleb Williams with five fourth quarter comebacks, he's league leading, um, as well as just converting on third down, 10 for 17, like last week, took control of the game, 40 minutes time possession, and their defense being top 10 and third and fourth down defense, man. Like, hey man, just saying they're definitely rising up to the challenge right now. Their coaches definitely motivating them to know that hey man, this isn't the same old Bears. Like we're back, we're here, and we're here to stay, and that's a great culture to have, and I love that. I love that for them. Green Bay, on the other hand, they beat Detroit in Thanksgiving. They're like top 15 in time possession. They're 10th in sacks. They're sixth in points against. They're definitely like top 10, top five in some defensive categories. They're the least offensive turnover type team. They're like tied for first there. And they're good on the run. overall winning streak. They've allowed under 300 plus passing yards. They've had 100 plus rushing yards. Obviously, Josh Jacobs probably should get the ball a little more. I know he hasn't been 100% healthy, but it is what it is. Really, what beat Detroit was their conversions: 6 for 12 on third down and 3 for 3 on fourth. They closed that game out in Thanksgiving with a really pivotal conversion. So when I'm looking at this game, I am going back and forth, and I don't know what to pick, but I'm gonna go with experience with the coach that's experienced because the Bears coach it's his first year as head coach. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's done an amazing job. I just have to go with Matt LaFleur on this, man, and I gotta go with Green Bay 23-20. It's gonna be a really close game. If you guys if any game you want to watch, you watch this game. This is the game you watch, man. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done ranting. CJ, go ahead.
And yeah, this is one of those ones where I feel like you sit on the fence and it's such an even matchup at this point. Um, so going into this, I was really thinking Green Bay because, as you mentioned, the Thanksgiving game against the Lions, although Amon Ra went out very early with an ankle injury, um, you still got to pull it all together to beat a team like the Lions, even if they have been struggling a little bit. So, Bears, on the other hand, I don't think anybody expected this. If anybody bet any money on this somehow, uh, you're probably looking forward to cashing out. So, uh, yeah, I don't think anybody saw this out of the Bears. Caleb Williams been able to make plays uh, more often than not, make the right decision, which had been an issue holding the ball too long, etc. With that being said, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Diego Dees. I'm gonna go with the Bears, man. I think they're gonna win it 27-23. I just flipped my pick from before, but kept the same score. I don't know. I just got to roll with it at this point. Go
Respect
ahead
it.
and finish it, Rock.
And this damn Bears logo is looking menacing lately. Looking like it wants to eat some cheese lately. So I'm also picking the Bears 27-24. Um, Major reason Devontae Wyatt is out. One thing I respect about Ben Johnson, he likes to run the ball with two running backs and get two running backs over 100 yards against the Philly defense. So when you lose your damn nose tackle going against a team that likes to run the damn ball, you're going to lose. You're going to
Gonna be
lose.
an issue.
It's going to be an issue for you. I don't care if you got a top tier edge rusher. That don't matter. Hey, you got to catch the running backs from behind when the rest of your team's pancake batter, and the rest of your team's getting flipped over by this offensive line that the Bears that suddenly became top five in Chicago. Um, when the defense over here is first in interceptions, when Jordan Love, we all know Jordan Love likes to kind of take some shots every now and then. That's going to bite him in the ass this week. So I know I didn't pick Green Bay last week against the Detroit. And, it's my fault because Detroit's banged up. Chicago's not. Chicago's ready to roll. Chicago wants to prove that they're first in the NFC. Maybe I'm wrong. Clip it if I'm wrong. I don't care. But Chicago's winning. They want first seed. Deeks brought up that Caleb Williams has won 5 one-score games. Um, that's Mahomes type shit right there. Mahomes did that last year. And that's a huge difference. So, Mr. I like to paint my fingernails in Chicago over here, Caleb Williams. Maybe we gotta put some more respect on his name lately. I know I've kind of been on the side of the Bears a lot. Him and Bryce Young, I have been on the uprise of both of them. I like what they've both been doing. They both kind of been in a similar situation. Happy that Caleb finally got a really good head coach to help him elevate his game to what we all wanted him to be coming out of USC. So that's my last notes on this game. Bears 27-24.
All right, guys. Seahawks fan here. Just want to say, hate these teams, but we got the 9-3 Rams. Would be They win the tiebreaker for the Seahawks, so they lead the division right now. At the bottom of the division, you got the opposite record, 3-9 Cardinals, who although the defense looked real strong coming out, uh, with some key injuries happening, some inconsistencies at receiver, and the quarterback position as well. Even having, a change and people thinking, they had a little energy. I just think the Cardinals are sort of destined for a top 10 pick this year. And I think the Rams are going to angrily give them some BTA this week. If I had the belt, I'd bring it out. And, the Rams defense is really crazy. They've had a crazy ability to draft and acquiring an extra first round pick, for this upcoming year's draft was absolutely insane. So, I can't remember. I think it was the Falcons. Thank you guys for doing that, if that was you. But hey, gotta add the sound too. But that Indianapolis Jones whip slap. But yeah, dude, I gotta stick with the Rams here. I think it's gonna be 30-10. Uh, I think Cardinals, even though Buda Baker's trying to bring them together, trying to lead them. They're depleted at running back. They just seem like a demoralized team. And their offensive scheme, just doesn't get me excited at all. Uh, you know, they're inconsistent. They are able to give two of their receivers the ball, one of them being the tight end. So uh, Rams are one of the most complete teams in the NFL. And Stafford should be in the MVP consideration because this is one of his best seasons, and he's as good as he's ever been. Doesn't look like that back is hurting him at all. So that's all I got to say on that. Rams are going to dominate, in my opinion. I'm going to pass the rock to Rock.
Yeah, man. I kind of disagree with the BTA because this is NFC West rivalry, and those games are always close for whatever reason. Doesn't matter the record. Um, I got the Rams winning 28-20. Reason why Rams are seventh in points per game at 27.8. Cardinals are 21st with 22.1, so they're not super far behind. I like what Jacoby Brissett is doing. He's at least leading this team to close competitive games. Bam Knight, he's been pretty solid for the Cardinals, even with their depleted running backs systems. I've heard rumors of Trey Benson maybe floating around to become an active again from the injury. I don't know how true they are, but it sounds like he's getting healthier at least. It's already too late. I think they're eliminated or they're one game away from it. So they're not eliminated. They will be this week. Um, Other than that, passing yards, the Rams are sixth, where the Cardinals are actually fifth. They're ahead of them in passing yards with 262, where the Rams are 256. For rushing yards, both of them are actually pretty close. The Rams are 20th, while the Cardinals are 25th. For sacks, the Rams have 33, which is ninth. Cardinals have 22, which is 24th. For picks, the Rams are seventh with 12, and the Cardinals are ninth or 12th with God, I mixed that up. Excuse me. The Rams are seventh with 12, and the Cardinals are 12th with 9. Tongue twister for me a little bit because of a lot of similar numbers. But other than that, I think it's going to be closer. The Rams are dominant. Don't get me wrong. It's just a rivalry game for them, so I think it's going to be closer than what we all expect. Deegs, what you got, man?
I have to agree with you on the close game. I got Rams though, 30-20. Yeah, when I look at the Cardinals, I mean, Jacoby Brissett playing for that starting job. I think he's probably going to take that job with 100% confidence. Maybe ship Kyler somewhere. I don't know. I don't really remember his contract or what's going on, but they need to get rid of Kyler. Uh,
Kyler, don't send him. Don't send him.
just send him to the Browns. Have him a good
Send
time.
them to the Jets.
Send him to the Jets. Send him to the Raiders. No, I don't. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh,
No, no,
man.
not doing that.
Oh,
Uh,
man.
but give him credit. Jacoby Brissett's definitely the best backup quarterback. Gonna be starting quarterback soon. And the Rams are just the Rams, and they choked. They choked against Carolina. I don't really expect Matt Stafford to have another two interception type, deal with what he was doing. He wasn't great last week, and neither was the defense. But overall, it's the Rams. I got him 30-20. Yeah, let's move on.
Right. All right, guys, we got the 7-5 Houston Texans against the 6-6 Kansas City Chiefs. It's an important game for both of these teams, both in the playoff hunt. Houston wins, they're a game closer to whoever wins between Indy and Jacksonville. If Kansas City wins, they're still in the playoff hunt. If they lose, high chance they don't make it. So important game for both of these teams here. Um, Points per games, Houston's 22nd with 21.9, while Kansas City is 10th with 25.4. Um, Passing yards, Houston's 14th, where Kansas City is fourth. 269 for Kansas City and 238 for Houston. For rushing yards, Houston is 23rd with 107, and Kansas City is 16th with 118. For sacks, Houston is sixth with 34, while Kansas City is 27th with 22. For picks, Houston is fifth with 12, and Kansas City is 22nd with 7. Um, I don't care that Kansas City scores more points per game than Houston. I care that Houston's defense looks absolutely shut down. I have to put respect on them. Houston was one of those teams I gave up on very early because they weren't showing me anything when they were healthy. Now that they got past the injury bug, they're getting everybody back. This defense has finally clicked. Derek Stingley is becoming arguably the best corner in the league. Between him and Patrick Surtain. I really like their safeties that they got going on. I forget his one name, and I really wish I don't, but he's been having a great year too. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, this going insane. Honestly, they're just going insane. But I got the Houston's winning a close one. I got the Texans winning a close one, 23-20. I think Kansas City. I think your devil magic has ran out on you. You used it all up last year. You guys aren't making the playoffs this year, or if you do, you're seventh seed. It's crazy to say that, outlandish to say that maybe, but if they make playoffs, they're seventh seed. They're not fourth, fifth, sixth. They're seventh. So, CJ, what you got, man?
Yeah, man, I have to disagree with you. I'm gonna stick with and not doubt Patrick Mahomes on this one, even though as everything you mentioned before is completely true about Houston's defense. They're playing furious, they're playing fast. Derek Stingley, is one of one. So I think he's one of those things that is really hard to factor in, even when you try to factor in if the Seahawks are one of the top defenses, they don't have a player like that, that is one on one truly like that. So it's one of those things that's very special, really strong edge rush. But uh, I'm gonna have to stick with Mahomes and with the return of Rashee Rice. We'll see if Stingley ends up following him the whole game or how that will go. But Rice has been on a heater lately, and they really haven't hesitated, easing him in. They're giving him a lot of targets, a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to stick with the Chiefs, but I'm going to have them only pulling it off by 1 point. It'll be 21-20. Finish it off, Deeks.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pivotal game for both. For Houston, this is fighting for division, not even just playoffs. Chiefs, this is fighting for playoffs. This is fighting for their lives. And they gave up a tough one in Dallas. So, Houston-wise, they lost free safety Reed out for surgery. So, I want to see if they're going to move Petre back to his normal position of safety that he was drafted as. So, we'll see how that goes. And I could talk about that nasty Houston defense all I want. Stroud needs to get a passing touchdown, dude. He's had back-to-back zero passing touchdowns. I get it that he's been kind of dealing with some things this year and injuries and whatnot, but he's gonna need to create something. I think that's been very important if they want to win this game. Kansas City wise, I really leaned I really leaned towards this team, but left tackle Simmons is out for 4 weeks. Football is not a one single man sport. It's a team sport. It's a brotherhood. It's all the people on the roster. You need to make it happen. And as much as obviously I don't want to say that, obviously Mahomes is Mahomes. We all know who he is, right? He can't do it by himself. And the offensive line has been just so bad at times. And I'm just with that defense that's gonna go against them. Like, it's almost like, dude, Pat, you're gonna do what you can, but not this year, buddy. That's not happening. I mean, he had five fourth quarter comebacks, seven game winning drives last year. He's only had one for each. They have lost all their games to one possession or one score games. So the Magic's running out. Unfortunately, they got to rebuild. It's that time. I think the Chiefs lose this game closely, 16-13. But yeah, Mahomes can't do it all himself, man. So let's move
Yeah,
on to
something
Monday
I do
night.
want to mention. Yeah,
Yeah,
something I do want to mention before we move on. Sorry to cut you off, but
no,
Houston is pretty much almost playing in a win out scenario if they want to make the playoffs. And they're one of those teams, getting Stroud back. Uh, that obviously impacted them having Davis Mills go in. They're one of
mm,
those teams. If they somehow won out and they're in the playoffs, they're a problem.
oh
They are a big problem.
yes, yeah,
Agreed.
So,
yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
we'll see how that goes. I was pretty on the fence about this, but yeah, I had to stick with my gut. So
I feel it.
yeah, as you said, Deegs, let's keep it moving.
All right, guys, we got the 8-4 Philadelphia Eagles showing up to Los Angeles Chargers, who are also 8-4. Um, really depending on Herbert plays, reports are saying he is. He got done with the surgery, yada yada. I think it's stupid. I see a quarterback who literally has the same injury as Herbert and a broken off throwing hand, and he is not ready at all to play the game. Granted, he is 42. But so there's a pretty big age difference between those two quarterbacks. But I think it's dumb if you just had surgery and you're trying to play through it. I respect the grit, I respect the toughness, but you're not ready yet, man. You got to heal up. Don't go out there and get yourself more injured, especially behind that booty cheek O line that you put out there every week for yourself. Uh, Speaking of which, Philly's D line, I know they had a rough game against the Bears, but Kamani Vidal, whatever his name is not going to do what DeAndre Swift and Monangai did to the Eagles. He's a one man guy. I think he's going to struggle against Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I think they're going to eat him alive. Um, Points per game wise, Philly is 20th with 22.5, where the Chargers are 19th with 23.1. Passing yards, Philly's 25th, while the Chargers are 10th. Um, for rushing yards, Philly is surprisingly 22nd, probably because they keep running that damn option play to the B gap with Saquon and Jalen Hurts. It doesn't work. Stop doing it. You got to give up on that play. It's not happening for you guys. You give up on that and actually start doing what you're doing last year with Saquon and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Your offensive production is going to go up. Uh, Chargers are 13th in rushing yards with 122. Sack wise, Phillies at 24th with 24 sacks, while the Chargers are 7th with 34. And for picks, the Chargers are 8th with 11, and Philly is 19th with 8. So I think it's going to be close, but because the O line is so bad for the Chargers and Justin Herbert is coming off a surgery, I'm saying Philly's winning this 23-14. I guess I'll
Yeah,
tell.
it's really my bad, but
No, I forgot to say, hey, somebody handed off. I forgot to give direction on that, but
yeah, I do it all the time. I'll go ahead and take it though. I'm gonna go Eagles on this, taking it 24-17. Main reason being, I don't want to speak this into existence, so if you got wood nearby, knock on it, pause. But yeah, Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, he could just get hit one time the wrong way, get that hand smacked, and you're gonna have to hold the football with two hands. There's no way around it, and people are really gonna be smacking it. And Eagles are one of those annoying teams when it comes to drafting. Uh, those two D tackles, as you mentioned before, big guys just shouldn't be able to move that fast. So uh, I really think them rushing Herbert back could be potentially a point where they could be expecting to play their backup if that goes south and their offensive line is, leaking, like a leaky faucet. So, yeah, I'm sticking with the Eagles on this. Take it away, Deeks.
Yeah, before this video even started, I had to make sure that Justin Herbert was gonna play or what's gonna happen with that. I was kind of ignorant on his injury, so when looking at it, I do believe this will be a close game. I think they both have something to play for, absolutely. Um, you know, I I hope to. I mean, I don't really mind the Chargers. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I don't want to see that injury-prone team that they have potential and they just falter at the end of it. That's kind of their history. So, when looking at these teams, I mean, the Eagles have been very susceptible on the run. They've 24th in rushing yards allowed, and you know, uh, they've been just giving a lot of they've been giving a lot of yards out, man. A lot of rushing yards to teams, man. 4.5 opponent yards per carry. So, when looking at it, the past two games they've had given up 895 total yards. It's just a lot, dude. It's a lot of yardage. Um, and yeah, I mean they just been in a funk. They've been in a funk. Obviously, their defense has definitely been trying to hold up the bargain here. And for the Chargers, I can respect Herbert's, grit, that fight. I know he wants to not look like he's soft. He wants to actually like look like he's actually a valuable QB in the league, and I can respect it. And they have pretty good defensive numbers overall. So I think it'll be a close game. I know that my pick has been wishy-washy on it. But I think I'm gonna have to go with I think I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles, man. I think I'm gonna pick it off the end. I thought about it till now and I was like, nah, I don't want another loss in this pick'em thing. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm gonna say 24-21. But the Eagles are not looking like scary to me, honestly. So, but yeah. If you guys have nothing else, I guess we're
Uh,
gonna,
well,
yeah.
yeah. Let's make sure we hit that noti bell, that like, subscribe button, share it to your friends, share it to your fantasy league members. I want more comments. I've been checking the comments. We ain't getting none. I need to know your record on these pick'ems from our two fans out there. And good luck to your teams, unless you're the Ravens, Bengals, or Browns. See you guys next week.
Oh man.
All right, we got to do we got to do our standard exit, dude. It's only
Yeah.
right. So, hands in. You know what to do.
Uh,
Idiots on me. Idiots on three. 1, 2, 3.
Idiot.
Idiots. Let's go. See y'all next week. Let's go.
oh yeah.